A Safer Uganda for All Children, Eriks project, is an intervention by the Anppcan Network for the Prevention and Protection Against Child Abuse and Neglect, Anppcan Uganda chapter, with support from Eriks development partners. The project is aimed at contributing to a Uganda free of child abuse, violence and exploitation in the districts of Kampala, Mukono and Wakiso. The project objectives was to be realized through empowering adults and children to act against child protection threats through community structures, increasing access to preventive and remedial services for abused children, documenting and sharing key learnings to end child abuse, and undertaking policy actions to create a child abuse-free environment.
We are saying the child must be safe. There must be safety and security for the child. And this responsibility is for the family and the greater community. Such that the child is not abused and does not face any danger in the process of growing up to become an adult.
This is Banda community, one of the project intervention areas in Kampala district. The Child Protection Committee conducted a mapping exercise and identified vulnerable children and households who required support from Anppcan. The children were, among others, supported with school fees. We also identified women's self-help groups that were supported to start income-generating activities and establish village savings and loans associations. Eventually, income derived from village savings and loans associations is utilized to cater for the children's needs.
Parents in this area used to violate children's rights. They would administer corporal punishments and neglect their children after failing to meet their basic needs. This resulted in school dropouts, failure to provide adequate feeding and clothing, and resulting in child labor that include children fetching water for selling, scrap and garbage collection, among others.
Besides Banda, the Eriks project was implemented in Naguru slums in Nakawa Urban Municipal Council of Kampala district. This is Abdul Ranga, a resident of Naguru slums. He is aged 78 years. His wife got sick for some time and failed to manage her medical care requirements. The wife's parents took her away and left behind the children for him to care.
My name is Abduranga. I'm 78 years old. My wife got sick and I failed to manage her medical care requirements. Her parents took her away and the children were left behind for my care. During the 1980s, I used to work as a security officer, but since 1990, I offer casual labor whenever I get an opportunity. Luckily, after completing P7, Good Samaritans have been supporting my children's education. I have 2 children. They have now completed Senior 4. They have enrolled for vocational skills training, but the family is very vulnerable. Most times we depend on food handouts from well-wishers in the community. The Muslim community in this area once in a while raise for me 5,000 to cater for the family feeding requirements.
The project had tremendous impact on the lives of children, but also reached all people, men, boys, girls and women of all ages in the target area, encouraging each one of them to take responsibility towards protecting children from abuse, violence and exploitation, as well as collective and individual action towards child protection, thus creating an environment in which the targeted children themselves receive and give peace, happiness from and to children and adults respectively, with hope that even when they graduate into adulthood, they'll make a contribution to a sustainable community child protection system where children grow up in safe and secure environment. The project further built a strong community-based child protection system in the target districts with hope for replication of the model to other communities in the country and beyond with other child protection actors. The action sought to protect the rights of children from abuse, violence, and exploitation in the 3 districts of Kampala, Mukono, and Wakiso as direct target groups. The project also reached out directly to children who are victims of abuse, violence, and exploitation and additional children at risk. Child victims were supported to access justice and other psychosocial support for recovery from abuse, violence, and exploitation, while at-risk children were empowered from being abused or suffering.
So we could always go to sensitize these communities from different times and to have dialogues with them to tell us the challenge they find with the children. In the process, the coordinator worked with the community leaders and the police in areas where there was abuse of the children, and then this project helped the police and the local leaders to come in and protect the children in these communities, especially against the abuse, even those who had been neglected. In fact, it even went outside what we would call their area of operation, that in areas where parents could not even manage to pay school fees, the project helped some of the parents to pay school fees for their children or contribute to their lunch at school when the mother was really hardened and there was a single mother without a father to support.
The Child Protection Committees are a fundamental community structure promoted by the Eriks project. The committee, among others, conducts home visits to offer counseling and psychosocial support to victims of abuse, violence, and exploitation.
Abaana bano bwe bafuna obuzibu buno tugenda mu maka gaabwe ne twogerako n'abazadde baabwe naddala be tuyita ba perpetrators oba baba babatuusizaako obulumi buno oba baba balemesezza okubeera nga bafuna ebyetaago byabwe bonna. Abaana bano bwe bafuna obulumi oba bwe bafuna obuvune mu mbeera nti oba afunye physical abuse, akubiddwa, oluusi amenyesa omukono, oluusi afunye ekisago, tubanoonyeza obujjanjabi. So kati tugenda mu maaso ne tutulanga komiti ne tulaba obuvune bwafunye n'engeri gy'ayinza okuyambibwamu.
We have come to talk to you about child rights in Banda Parish. We would like to share with you information. First, we would like to know from you, who is a child? According to our national constitution, a child is that person below 18 years. In many instances, children who come from families with stepmothers suffer a lot and do not get adequate care. Even when they report cases of abuse, stepmothers may not care as adequately required. There are incidences when men defile children, but when they report such cases to their stepmoms, they do not adequately care about the issue. They can even beat you, and this stops children from reporting again to avoid mistreatment and abuse subject to us by some of our stepmoms. Some children, especially girls, do not get adequate care for meeting their pressing needs. They are tempted to beg men and risk getting impregnated. Some parents are very greedy. Because of this, they end up marrying off underage children, thus promoting early marriages. Some stepdads also abuse children in homes. It also depends on how we handle our children. We need to be friendly to them in order for them to trust and share with us their problems.
y'abaana mwogedde ku kubatulugunya nga babakuba babamemmere.
From this discussion, it is revealed that children face multiple forms of abuse that include domestic violence, neglect, defilement, and early marriages, among others. I call upon you to report these child abuse incidences to us. Please do not keep silent about this problem. This is a home visit by the Child Protection Committee in Banda. They are visiting Slovia, one of the victims of child abuse and exploitation.
Musonga y'abaana abawala wakati wano ninawo babiri abafuna embuto nga bato.
We used not to care much about the problem of teenage or underage pregnancies, but gradually we got concerned and started working with child-focused agencies, particularly Anppcan, to provide support to these vulnerable girl children.
Tukwatagana n'ebitongole naddala nga Anppcan ne tubatwala we basobola okuba nga bayambibwa.
Nze Sylvia Nanyonga n'emyaka 15 ng'olubuto nalufunira
I'm Sylvia Nanyonga, aged 15 years. I got impregnated while in Nazigo village. I didn't realize I had gotten pregnant. I was brought here to Banda, and Aunt Sylvia from Anppcan took me to Wakisa Ministries, a child-focused organization. I learned some vocational skills while at Wakisa. This is where I stayed until I gave birth. My dream is to go back to school.
Bwetyo twayingira mu nsonga ya Sylvia naye ng'ali mukyala wa mu kitundu olwokuba yali atumanyi tukola ku nsonga z'abaana n'atuleetera ensonga.
This case was referred to us by a member of the community. Sylvia is an underage mother. The Child Protection Committee took up her case till she gave birth. She was supported by an NGO called Wakisa Ministries. At Wakisa, she was given all the necessary medical care and nutrition. Unfortunately, the child she gave birth to died after delivery. Zaituni Namukose is a child mother. She's also beneficiary of the Eriks project. Their dad died and left Zaitun and her siblings under my care. Zaitun got pregnant when I left her and other siblings in the care of their grandmother in the village. She was enticed by her friend and got defiled. Anppcan is an organization that helps vulnerable children. I would like to thank Anppcan for their support and request they reach out to many more vulnerable children out there that require timely support. In Naguru, the project has reached out to vulnerable households where children are prone to abuse, violence, and exploitation. To ensure constant monitoring of child rights violation at community level, child protection committees were formed to respond to cases of abuse within the community. Each committee comprises of 20 members who meet on a monthly basis to respond to identified cases. Each committee is chaired by LC2 chairperson of the parish. The committee is supported by Anppcan as they engage in different activities at community level. The committee works closely with other structures, mainly police and probation office, to handle child-related cases.
The CPC of Banda here, we have been in touch, we have been coordinating very well in issues of family, issues related to children, issues that are related to women, all the wives and husbands within the family, and really we have been coordinating in handling family issues. When you talk about how best we have been working together, they have been very much of supportive to us as police in a way that there are some issues which are first reported to them, then they call me to represent the police, or to give my side as police in case the party does not come to understanding. What will be the repercussions when we go to police law?
Naguru Infant School is one of the beneficiaries of the Eriks project.
We were having the teachers, they were friendly to the children, to our children. They were so friendly that to the extent of even talking to them, they were friendly that we could call them and talk to them, advise them. There were children who were living with stepmoms, the uncles, that they were being mistreated, but really we came in as teachers and talked to them. And when the Anppcan came in, it just implemented on what we had before. When the project came, we formed a child rights club, which was consisting of 20 children, with them themselves, all fellow children, and they formed small groups of child rights, and they sensitized them. But after being sensitized by the teachers, because the Anppcan came in and sensitized the teachers, also the children sensitized others, to the extent of even sensitizing all of them on the parade, which takes place every Friday.
The government must fight hard against child violence because children are dying and they are being mistreated for nothing. Children are innocent pupils. Children must be given their rights because they are also human beings.
I think it is very important to fight child abuse because it reduces the rate of getting early marriages, like child labor. When you, instead of going to school, you go selling tomatoes, cabbages, selling beans. So I sensitize them to talk to their parents and encourage them or sensitize them to stop child abuse.
This is Ntinda Police Children's School. The school is another beneficiary of the Eriks project.
We try to add on more by making the classroom environment very conducive, making instructional materials to put in the class. Then we also engage children in co-curricular activities so that they can develop their skills and again be motivated that they're in schools. We need to tell these children their responsibilities. We talk of the rights, we talk of the responsibilities.
Besides conducting monitoring visits, the Child Protection Committees make referrals for those cases that are beyond their mandate.
Kati waliwo kye tuyita referrals oba referral points, nti bwe tusanga omusango gw'omwana oba oluusi omwana bamukutte nga defilement case, omwana ono ate tukwatagana ne poliisi ne tukwatagana n'ebitongole ebirala n'aba ng'ayongezebwayo. So kati ekyokukolagana n'ebitongole ebirala kituyambako nti ensonga yonna gye tutasobola kukwasaganya nga ffe ab'akakiiko tugyongerayo omwana ono gy'ayinza okufunira obuyambi.
Children have been helped. They come to me in accordance with some documentations, let me say forms in line with children who have been violated, somehow assaulted. Have been in touch with helping them. Have been in touch helping them with those medical forms, police forms, and work has been going on. Issues have been solved in line with the CPC of Banda. Issues which have been brought to me or to this office are sometimes issues of defilement, issues of child neglect, issues of domestic violence. So such kind of issues have been brought to me, and we have looked the way forward to help or to solve them. Yes, and there have been most of them solved amicably.
The Eriks project also engaged key actors and other service providers in the target districts, including paralegals, workers in the formal justice system, law enforcement officers, probation officers, and community development assistants. They benefited from the support by having their capacity and effectiveness enhanced through training, networking, sensitization, experience and information sharing and policy engagement. The action of this category improved the situation of direct beneficiaries, and more people in the target districts and beyond were targeted and benefited from increased awareness through mass media activities and policy initiatives on child protection at district and national level. Anppcan sought synergies among others with non-governmental organizations and government sectors or departments community development, including police and probation office, doing work in the area of promoting and child rights. They are also involved in awareness raising, case follow-up support, referrals and training.
So we could always go to sensitize these communities on different times, and the art to have dialogues with them to tell us the challenge they find with the children. In the process, the coordinator worked with the community leaders and the police in areas where there was abuse of the children, and then this left the police and the local leaders to come in and protect the children in these communities, especially against the abuse, those who had been neglected. In fact, it even went to outside what we would call their area of operation, that in areas where parents could not even manage to pay school fees, the project helped some of the parents to pay school fees for their children or contribute to their lunch at school when the mother was really hardened and was a single mother without a father to support.
The project built a network through which stakeholders organizations, together with Anppcan, continue to effectively engage in policy advocacy within the district authorities. This is expected to improve the quality of the work of these organizations in terms of identification of policy gaps, documentation and engagement with duty bearers. As part of the project sustainability, the CPC in Banda Parish has established a membership savings scheme which offers a percentage of the funds to facilitate addressing some of emerging issues with respect to handling cases of child abuse, violence and exploitation.
Fenga ba members wano twekolamu ekibiina ekisonda ssente oba ekisevinga buli lwakuna, era nga kwekyo twateekawo n'ensawo eyambako ku baana nti bwe tufuna omusango tuyinza obutakuba simu muntu atuyambe n'obuyambi obuli financial, wabula ne tukwata mu nsawo yaffe okulaba nga tukigonjoola.
But there is a need to strengthen the community fabric to help support these children. I think I can use the laws. They have the structures like local councils, they even have a separate of children affairs, who must know all the children in the community, how they are faring. But I think because again such a person, and even the Eriks itself has the full capacity to carry out this activity. Yes, it should have been their noble work of the Eriks, other than the other issues they engage in to ensure the children are safe in the community. But there is some gap. They need some empowering. First of all, into giving them more training, routine trainings, and maybe some resources to help them be comfortable.
Conclusively, the Eriks project has had profound contribution in creating a safe and secure environment for children within houses, schools, and community.